So today we're going to learn about how I replaced my salary in 4 weeks using Airbnb with a single property that I didn't even own. What's up, guys? What's up, Wendy from Ohio? What's up, Denise? How's it going, guys? Good to see you. We'll get started here in a second. I just want to make sure everybody can see my screen. Can you guys see me? I'm on a webcam right now. How's it going, guys? Good to have you today. So again, we're going to be talking about how I replaced my salary in 4 weeks using Airbnb with a single property that I didn't even own, and how I'm able to earn a six-figure passive income on Airbnb using other people's properties. So I'm super passionate about this topic. I'm actually in an Airbnb right now. I'm on vacation right now in Hawaii. Here, I'll show you this is a picture I took yesterday, actually. So this has kind of been my view for the past 3 or 4 weeks and on extended vacation. And I'm able to do things like that because I've been able to build a passive income Airbnb business. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I know you guys probably aren't interested in my vacation at all, but I'm sure you are interested about learning how to multiply your income and build a passive income using Airbnb. So we're going to be covering that. Again, as you guys are coming in, just put your name and put where you're tuning in from. I'd love to connect with you. I'll give you a little shout out real quick. And again, make sure to let me know if you can see my screen, if you can see me. Still not sure if you guys can. I think you guys can see me, but I just want to double check. So for those of you who aren't too familiar with Airbnb, just give you a couple stats real quick. So since 2009, there's been a global compound growth rate of 153%. Okay, Airbnb is blowing up. All right, it's all over the place. There are currently 4 million Airbnb listings worldwide. It's in 65,000 cities. What's up, guys? I see everybody's all right. Appreciate the you guys commenting, seeing where you guys are from. Cool. So people from DC, we got Florida, we got Tennessee. So check this out. Airbnb has 150 million users. Right, so it is expanding. It's growing very, very quickly. So that's why it's a huge opportunity. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, I think we're ready to get started here. So let's do this. As I mentioned, this is a picture I took the other day. But we're going to be talking about how I made $18,872 in 13 days from my first Airbnb listing. How I was able to quit my job and replace my income for good. So I want to kind of get into how I was able to get started and how this completely changed my life, and how it really just only took me one listing to make it all happen. Okay, so if you want to learn how to replace and then double or triple your income using Airbnb, put a 1 in the chat box and we'll go ahead and get started. Now, I think you guys can see me okay, but my name is Mike Xave, and I'm a very serious business professional. Normally I wear a suit all the time, but the truth is, okay, you guys clearly see I'm a pretty casual guy. The truth is I'm not some fancy business guru or anything like that. I'm just a normal guy. I love the outdoors. I love going whitewater rafting and zip lining and things like that. And to be honest, I struggled with business for a very long time. Okay, I spent years trying to basically build businesses and failing in almost every single business that I started. But then something incredible happened when I stumbled upon this huge opportunity, and that was Airbnb. Okay, so believe me, if I can do this, you guys can do this. Okay, because I've literally tried it all. I've tried ebooks, I've tried stock trading for years, I tried e-commerce, I tried real estate investing. If you tried any of these things and it didn't work, or if you didn't see success fast enough, like maybe you were making some money but it wasn't life-changing, if that's you, then trust me, I know how you feel. Okay, so if you failed before in the past, it's okay, because we all fail when we don't have a proven system. Okay, so today I want to give you my proven Airbnb system. If you follow this system step by step, then you will succeed. It's as simple as that. This system will hands down be the easiest way for you to be able to quickly replace your income and turn that income into autopilot. Okay, so who here wants to learn how to do that? Who here wants to learn how to replace your income and put it on autopilot? So if you want to learn how to do that, then pay close attention, because this webinar will literally change your life. But first, you might be thinking, is this even legit? Can anyone really be successful on Airbnb? Is Airbnb a legitimate business? Is it just trend or what? Or can I really make lots of money doing this, right? And these are all legitimate questions. You might be feeling like this, and that's totally cool. I'm going to answer all of these questions, but here are some quick stats. I kind of covered these earlier. But first off, Airbnb is growing like crazy. As I mentioned earlier, there are 150 million plus Airbnb users. and it's growing by 1.4 million new users each week. Think about how freaking crazy that is. Huge growth rate. But here's where it gets interesting, okay? Can you guess how many Airbnb listings there are? Okay, there's only 4 million listings. So what does that mean? You do the math on that, right? 150 million users, 1.4 million new users each week, and only 4 million listings. What does this all mean? Well, it means if you're a host on Airbnb, you're hitting a gold mine because there's a huge demand for Airbnb and it's only growing. So do you want a piece of that pie? So I hope I have your attention now. So real quick, I want to answer these questions. Who is this training for? Like, why am I here? What am I going to learn, right? So if you don't have any property, but you're willing to be resourceful and put in the work to become financially free, then this is for you. If you do have a property and you want to learn how to make 4 times on the property as you would with a regular tenant, then this is for you. If you already have an Airbnb, but you want to know how to maximize your bookings and get more listings, then this training is definitely for you as well. Also, if you just want to supplement or replace your income so you can earn 2 to 3 times what you currently earn, then this is for you. If you want to learn how to be free of a boss, if you're tired of working full-time hours, then this is for you. If you just want like a specific step-by-step plan so you can succeed from the beginning and avoid learning it all on your own, then this is for you, okay? And believe me, this is something anyone can do, even part-time. I got started part-time. I was working full-time job, so you can do this on the side, right? Now, here's who it's not for, okay? If you don't want to put in the upfront work to create a great Airbnb experience for your guests, then this isn't for you. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme and you aren't looking to add real value to the marketplace, then I'm sorry, this isn't for you. And if you're going to get upset basically at the end of this value-packed training when I let you know about a coaching program that I have, then I'm sorry, this isn't for you as well. So by the end of this training, you'll see that the easiest way for you to become financially free is with this secret Airbnb business model that I'm going to reveal on this class today. And that the only way for you to dominate the Airbnb market is to implement each piece that I'm going to teach. Does that sound cool? All right. And guys, for those of you who are just joining, I'm actually in an Airbnb right now. We just checked in a couple days ago. I'm on vacation right now in Hawaii, going from Airbnb to Airbnb and kind of living my dream life. I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit. And it's all thanks to Airbnb because I've been able to build this passive income business. Now, so my ultimate goal for this training is for you to be in the top 1% of Airbnb earners, okay? In order for us to get there, you need to focus, okay? So please take notes, silence your cell phones, exit out of Facebook and pay attention, okay? Do participate, take advantage of the fact that you can ask me questions and it's really engaging is gonna be very enhancing. It's gonna enhance your learning experience. Cool, cool, cool. So if you guys stay to the end, I'm going to be giving my exact treasure map strategy. Okay, you really want to learn how to do this because basically I'm going to be showing you a tool. It's a hidden tool that I use to tell me exactly how much I can make on Airbnb in any location. It's almost cheating. It works so well, but it's basically the bread and butter of what I teach, so stay for that. Now, of course, these are my own personal numbers and they're not necessarily indicative of what you're going to make, but I'll just kind of throw out some listings that I have talking about. Okay, so this is since January. This is one of our listings. We've booked 45,000, almost 46,000 with that listing so far. This is more like early February. Another listing that we have since January, we did close to 80,000 so far, which is pretty freaking cool, right, in bookings. And these are just, these are separate listings. So it's really crazy how much you can make with this platform. So 125,000 with just those 2 listings since January, really kind of like late January, early February. So my question is, how much money would it take to change your life using Airbnb? How many dollars per month would really change your life? I want you to think about it for a second, write it down on a piece of paper, put it in the chat. I really appreciate it if you put it in the chat because I want to know, what is that number for you? Okay, what would you do if you were making that money, right? Would you quit your job? Would you travel the world? Or maybe you would just never have to really stress about paying the bills anymore. Whatever it is, write that number down. I want you to keep that number in mind as we move through this presentation, okay? Now, to give you quick background, you're probably like, who the heck is this guy? I'll just let you know a little bit about me. Basically, my background is I was a robotics engineer. Here's a picture of me in the Seattle Times, but I've always been interested in entrepreneurship. Okay, I got involved in things like Startup Weekend, participated in a NASA New Space Business Planning competition a couple of years ago, and As I mentioned earlier, I've always had a passion for starting businesses. But I know that sounds all fancy and stuff, but the truth is I'm just a normal guy, and I got caught in my 9-to-5 job, and I was looking for a way out. Okay, cool. We got a couple people putting some numbers, and appreciate it, guys. So basically, I would go to work every day, and it's not like I hated my job or anything, but I hated the feeling of like I wasn't building something I could call my own. Does that make sense? Can you kind of relate to that feeling? Like you're going sideways and not up, right? You know what I mean? So it all started really with this book. So one day I read this book called The 4-Hour Workweek, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with it. But for those of you who are not, it's basically a book about how to create a business that runs on its own so you can escape the 9-to-5, travel anywhere, and join the new rich. And I've been obsessed with this idea, about passive income, being able to travel the world and live a life of financial freedom and doing all those cool things. But I never knew how to do it. I never knew like what actions to take. What was the next step? I tried a bunch of different things. And as I mentioned earlier, as you know, I basically failed at all of them. Okay, so I got stuck, but I had hope. I was going to climb the corporate ladder. I know it's very cliche of this idea, moving up the ranks. So I was working at this company, and basically what they told me is that after 2 years, I would get promoted and become the next level engineer. Okay, so I was kind of on that cycle, and every time I would sit down with my boss, they would tell me like, hey, you're doing great. I see that you're exceeding expectations and stuff, but you just got to hit that 2-year mark, and then you're going to get promoted. So, I was really excited. I'm waiting for it, working my butt off, and eventually that 2-year mark comes. Okay, and it's like, all right, today's the day. I got a meeting. It was 9 o'clock sharp. I show up. I'm early. I'm looking professional. And I'm like, man, this is going to be awesome. I wonder how much money I'm going to make. I'm doing a great job here, and I'm waiting for basically my boss to tell me like, is it going to be a new position? Am I going to have a new project? And what's the deal? So I'm so ready to be promoted, right? So basically, I'm sitting in this office. It's like a glass office, and my boss walks in. He sits down. He sips his coffee, and he basically says, "So Mike, about that promotion. Look, you're doing great, but the department just took like a budget cut. So," and he looks at me and he just nonchalantly says, "Well, we put your name in the hat for the promotion. Your name is in the hat." And I'm just like, "You what now?" And he was like, "Well, you've been doing great. You're working here for 2 years, but your name's in the hat." And I'm just thinking like, I've been grinding all this time, doing the best I could, and now my name's in some hat. What does that even mean? Put in the chat box like, my name is in the hat too, Mike, if you ever felt like that before. But yeah, it was really in that moment that I realized I needed to start taking financial freedom seriously, and that I needed to take control of my financial future. So in that moment, I decided that I would quit my job as soon as I could. And I started looking for opportunities. You know what I mean? So I didn't have any real ideas, but I knew one thing. I knew that in order to be financially free, I needed to stop trading time for money. Okay? It's a big concept. Now, a couple of days later, as fate would have it, the opportunity presented itself. I sat down with one of my good friends for lunch, and we were at this sushi restaurant, and he was basically talking to me about someone he knew who had an Airbnb. And at that time, I didn't even really know what Airbnb was, but he was telling me his friend rented out 3 guest rooms in his house on Airbnb. So he had a house, he was living in the house, and he had 3 guest rooms that he rented out, okay? Guess how much money he was making on those guest rooms? It blew my mind. He was making $2,000 per month per room. So I just looked at him, I'm like, wait, hold on. Are you serious? You're telling me this person makes $6,000 a month renting out his guest rooms on Airbnb? And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. So it was really in that moment that it clicked in my mind. I was like, I got to understand this business model. I saw that there was an opportunity here. The craziest part was that his friend had everything automated. He didn't have to clean the rooms. He didn't do the communications. He was making $6,000 pretty much just doing nothing at all. That's when I realized, this is it. This is like that passive revenue that I've always wanted. This is that 4-hour work week that I've wanted all my life, basically. So I started doing research. I geeked out. I started analyzing my town, my city, looking for the best occupancy, the highest revenue. About 3 to 4 weeks into it, I was ready to do this. I was looking at the numbers. I knew exactly how much I would be making and exactly how much it was going to cost me, okay? And I knew as long as I could figure it out and get the right data and the right information, I could make this work. So eventually, I found a property that I wanted, and I rented that property. It all happened so fast, but within the first 6 weeks of coming up with the idea, I was ready and launching, okay? So here's the only problem. It all happened a little too fast. You see, I got the keys to the apartment I was renting. I walked in and I realized I have no idea what I'm doing, okay? I have no idea how to furnish, decorate. I have no idea how to host guests. I don't know anything about the art side of this business. I really had no idea what I was doing. So I went back to the research, okay? I started thinking, who's making the most money? What listings are doing the best in town? So I started studying the pictures, the descriptions, the titles, everything. And I started to basically make a model of the best listings in town, okay? And soon I knew exactly how to furnish it, exactly what it should look like, exactly what I should say. Everything was perfect. So I was really just modeling success every step of the way, okay? I was studying and understanding the numbers. And a couple of weeks after I got it furnished, I launched. And let me tell you something. The moment I launched my first Airbnb, okay, my life changed forever. That was like the turning point, okay? I'm coming from the corporate world. You know, I'm used to trading time for money. And the moment I launched, that very first day, I made more money in bookings in a day than I did as an engineer. Okay, booked out more money on Airbnb than I did as an engineer during a whole month, basically being an engineer. So it was a crazy moment in my life, and I realized how big the opportunity was. And really, I saw that if you do this right, the opportunity is endless, all right? And it, like I said, it completely changed my life. 3 months later, I quit my job. Get your head around that for a second. 3 months later, after I started my first Airbnb, I had enough cash flow to quit my high-paying engineering job. I became financially free. I didn't have to work. I would make reoccurring cash flow each and every single month automatically, and it just took a couple months to get it started. And you can have the same exact result. Now I get to travel. I get to do what I love. Whenever I want, I can take vacations on a whim. I get paid while I'm on vacation. It still blows my mind to this day. It's insane. I can volunteer, contribute my time in any way that I want. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I'm starting business. I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. And it all stemmed from that one Airbnb listing. So know you're just one Airbnb listing away from an entirely new life. So this is some pictures of me on my vacation right now. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been in Hawaii, skydiving, surfing, rock climbing, kind of doing, like living the dream life that I've always wanted, that 4-hour work week. And to be honest, it's more like a 2-hour or 1-hour work week at this point. I really have it automated so much that I'm very fortunate to be in the position I'm in, and I really want to teach you guys how to have the same result that I got using Airbnb, okay? So let's get started. Now, guys, I see some questions in the chat. I'm going to answer all the questions at the end. We'll do a Q&A session, but I just want to kind of get you the information as you can, as much information as I can right now about how to do it step by step. And I'll answer all your specific questions after. Okay, so we're going to be covering these 3 secrets. The first one is secret number 1, the cash flow finder. So how to be the highest paid Airbnb listing in town, even when you're first starting out and have 0 reviews, okay? The second secret I want to talk about is how to use other people's properties, okay? How to locate landlords who will be more than willing to let you list their properties on Airbnb, even if you have no experience. And secret number 3, the money machine, how to automate and scale to 6 figures without ever meeting, greeting, or cleaning after your guests, even while working a full-time job, all right? So let's get started. Cool, secret number 1, how to be the highest paid Airbnb listing in town. Okay, so we're gonna be covering my treasure map strategy, okay? Now, basically, what I wanna talk to you about is why you should sell chalkboards. You're probably thinking like, wait, what the heck are you talking about? Okay, let me rephrase that. Look, when I first got started in entrepreneurship, like I mentioned, I was trying so many different things, right? I even tried making smart houses, like home automation. I tried making, sports drink bottles. I tried starting a 3D printing company. I really tried so many things, and I kept failing, like I mentioned earlier. And one day I decided, all right, look, why don't I just stop guessing at what works in business? Let me just be analytical. Let me use logic like I've learned how to use in all the things I've learned in engineering, and just kind of apply the same principles. So I decided I'm going to stop guessing at business, okay? And what was the first step? What's the first step to creating a successful business? I thought to myself, and it was, well, first, let's find out what's in demand. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, how do we do that? Okay, well, in order to find out what's in demand, the first step is to get the right tools. Okay, so basically, one of the businesses that I tried to start was e-commerce, and I tried to sell things on Amazon. And guys, this is going to parallel to the exact process I'm about to talk about here is what we do in Airbnb. So this is very relevant. Just stick through this for a second. Now, kind of play along. If you were going to start an Amazon business, what product would you sell? You might be thinking, I have no idea. There's millions of products that I could sell. How do you know what's going to make the most money, right? So this is basically where I was. I was trying to think, what the heck am I selling on Amazon? And the first step was to get the right tools. So this is one of the tools that I used to sell, to figure out what was making the most money on Amazon. Okay, we'll call it a revenue X-ray tool. And again, this is going to parallel to the same process that we do in Airbnb. So pay close attention. So this is a revenue X-ray tool. And you see this little red bar here, we can see all the revenue that these products are making, okay? So you can see specifically this product right here is making $57,000 per month, whereas this one right underneath it is making $1,700. Which one should we study? Which one should we focus on, right? I think it's pretty obvious. So that's step number 2, study and improve. You wanna ask yourself, how can I model this product? How can I improve this product? And then with Airbnb, obviously, it's how can I model this listing or how can I improve upon this listing? So one of the ways that we can do that, well, is with reviews, right? On Amazon, there are reviews. We can literally go in and read, what was the best thing about this product? What was the worst thing about this product? And we can study it and improve it. Now, guess what, guys? On Airbnb, there's reviews as well, right? So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. All right, so what's the lesson? What am I trying to explain here? It doesn't matter what you want to sell. It doesn't matter what you think you should sell. The secret is to sell what's selling, okay? That's why when I was starting my e-commerce business, I started selling chalkboards. And I had no idea. I didn't care about chalkboards. I had no idea that was going to sell well. But I looked at the numbers. I used the revenue X-ray tool, and I was actually pretty successful selling these chalkboards, okay? So basically, what I'm trying to say is if you can find out what's selling and just improve it just a little bit, you automatically have a massive advantage over the competition, all right? So most people don't take the time to get the right tools, but we aren't most people, right? We're actually gonna study, we're gonna improve, we're gonna find the right tools. So when you do business this way, it's kind of like you're going to take an exam, but you have all the answers, okay? You automatically have a massive advantage over the competition. Starting to make sense? So if you wanna be massively successful on Airbnb, what do you think we need to do? That's right. Step number 1, get the right tools. Step number 2, study and improve, okay? So this is exactly what I did when I first got started on Airbnb. And because I took the time to really, like I said, get the right tools and focus on the market, studying what listings were doing the best, like I mentioned earlier, I was able to have great results right from the start. And this is what I want you to be able to do. So the very first month, my very first month, you would think, okay, you have 0 reviews, have no credibility on the platform. How are you going to do so well? I made $7,425 the very first month. Second month, I made $6,849. Third month, I made $8,873. Now, how much do you think I was paying in rent for that property? Because you're probably thinking, well, how much of that was actually profit? Guys, I was paying $2,620 in rent, which means some months I was making $5,000 to $6,000 in profit from the second I launched. Why was I able to do that? Why was I able to be so successful from the very beginning? It's because I got the right tools. Okay, there are 3 tools that I use to do this, and we don't have time to go into every single one, but I will show you a demonstration of one of the tools that I use. Okay, so this is very important. Take notes, guys. So let me know if you can share my screen. I just want to make sure that you can see this, this tool right here. Now, this is basically a revenue X-ray tool, but for Airbnb, all right? Let me know if you can see my screen. Now, just like on Amazon, how we were able to basically see which products are making the most money, here we can see which listings are making the most money. So again, guys, just let me know if you can see my screen. I wanna make sure, sweet, okay, just wanna make sure you guys can see it. All right, so check this out. You can see I can scroll over. These are all of the listings in this particular area. And we can see how much revenue, right here, we can see 32,000. This listing is making 32,000. I click another one, this one's making 11,000. This is annually, right? And I can literally go boom, check this out. This one's making 100,000. It's a huge difference, right? Crazy. Do you see how this is a revenue X-ray tool and how useful this can be? And how if we go and we study the market this way, how much of an advantage we'll have over other people who are just basically going, putting up a random Airbnb. So what you can do is you can go and study these properties, right? I'll pull this one up real quick. So what I did is I created a model of the best listings. I went in, I studied them, and basically I went in through, I looked at all the pictures, I looked at their descriptions, I looked at their titles, I looked at how much they're pricing, and I studied everything about their listings, right? And I even went through all of their reviews, and I studied what was good, what was bad, right? And from this, I was able to create a model of what was working the very best in each location, right? So now I know exactly how to furnish it, I know exactly what the listing, I know exactly how to, what type of decor I should get, everything. I studied it and improved it, and that's what you can do too, using a tool like this, okay? It's a revenue X-ray tool. So they actually have a very cool feature right here called top properties. So you can actually see, okay, these are all the top properties in this area, making 100,000, 100,000, 79,000, 77,000. So basically what I would do is I would go and basically just study all of these listings, okay? And one of the biggest things you'll notice is that some of these top listings, the first thing you see is a pool. This one has a pool. This one has a pool. This one's by the waterfront area. The first thing I would do, honestly, is look for a property with a pool in this area. And I would study these, figure out exactly how to do the furniture, exactly what the title should be, exactly what the listing should be, descriptions, everything. So this is how you really model success. This is the secret to being extremely profitable from the very beginning. Is this making sense, guys? Okay. So when we use a tool like this, we can literally see exactly which listings are making the most money, and we can literally just model them. That's exactly what I did. Some things I noticed in my market was that I needed to have a spiral staircase. Spiral staircases were basically were the listings that were doing the best. So I found a property that had a spiral staircase. As simple as that, okay? So that's how we, from the very beginning, become one of the highest paid listings in town, okay? Cool, cool, cool. Now, this is just one of the tools that I use. There are a couple more tools that will basically guarantee your success. Again, we don't have time to go into every single one, but I wanted to basically show you guys what's possible by using this. All right, so that was secret number one. Okay, let's go talk about secret number two now, because I'm sure you guys are wondering, how in the world do we use other people's properties? How do we locate landlords who will be more than willing to let us list their property on Airbnb, even if we have no experience, right? So this is what I want to talk to you guys about right now. Now, when I was first getting started in Airbnb, I first thought, okay, let me just buy a house, right? This is like the easiest route. I thought, I'll go and meet with realtors, and I actually did this. I met with realtors, I met with a mortgage broker, I got pre-approved, I was ready. I even found a house that I liked. I was about to buy a house. And then I looked at all the payments, and I had to put the down payment and the closing costs and electric, and I had to redo the lawn and all these other fees and taxes. And it came out to more than $26,000, and just basically in order for me to start on Airbnb. So then I thought, like, all right, if I'm going to buy a house, why don't I just go all in? I want to get a house in an amazing location, right? Because I want to be able to make massive profit right away. So I was like, all right, let me find a house, on the beach or something. I want this one. Obviously, that one's going to be very, very, very expensive, kind of out of the budget. So when I looked at the numbers, this is how I felt. So I was like, all right, back to the drawing board. What the heck am I going to do? And one day I had this idea. For some reason, I realized, why do I even have to own the property at all? Okay, like, what if I just rented the property? I remember the day I had that epiphany. I was like, wait a minute. Why do I keep thinking I have to buy the property? Now I don't have to worry about down payments, closing costs, electric, lawn, fees, blah, blah, blah. I can just rent it. So this is what I did. I was like, all right, my plan is, let me do the AirDNA analysis. Okay, let me find a property. Look, this property, I can make $7,800 a month. Okay, let me go and find a property that looks just like that one. So I started looking on Craigslist and stuff like that, and I found a couple properties that would kind of fit my criteria. Okay, and the rent for those properties were like, let's say, $2,300. Okay, well, that's not that bad. If I know I can make $7,800 and I only have to pay $2,300, it's pretty simple math, right? Then my profit, $5,500. Like, I'll take that every day, right? So this is kind of what I started to realize. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna rent out these properties. So once I made that decision, I kind of ran into a problem though, right? And the problem was that I had to convince the landlords to let me lease their beautiful properties to complete strangers. Now, how the heck do you do that? So I promptly went out and I talked to dozens of landlords, and I got exactly 0 yeses to my plan. Nobody wanted to work with me. Nobody wanted to let me lease their property, put on Airbnb, as you probably would expect. So I was thinking, why wasn't this working? I would say something like, I would go and talk to the landlord and be like, hey, look, I really want to lease your property. I want to let random people stay here, and I want to make a whole bunch of money on Airbnb doing so. Is that cool? Is that all right? Of course, they said no. So I kind of went back to the drawing board, and I realized that landlords only care about 2 things, okay? First, will they get their money on time? It's the first thing they care about. Second, will their property be taken care of? Right? They care about their property. They just want to make sure that somebody who's staying there is going to make sure it's kept really in good condition, right? So once I figured this out, I learned how to basically change the conversation I was having with the landlords. I learned how to talk to the landlords in a way that made them realize, A, I'm a professional business, and that they will receive automatic payments, and B, I will be having basically professional cleaners in the property multiple times a week, and the property will be maintained to a 5-star standard. Once I was able to kind of articulate that to the landlords, they soon realized that nobody would be a better tenant than me. Okay? It wasn't long before landlords were begging me to rent out their properties, which was a really cool feeling. But soon I had my first Airbnb listing, and everyone was happy. Okay, it was a win-win-win scenario for the owner of the property, for the guests that were staying there, and for me, right? So what's the lesson here? The lesson is that it's really easy to get a landlord to agree to doing this with you if you know what to say and you can explain why it's in their best interest. Does that make sense? Okay, so to kind of repeat, what you want to do when you're talking to landlords to set up this business is you need to explain that they will receive automatic payments, that you're a professional business, and that you're going to have cleaners, you're going to be maintaining the property to a 5-star standard. Once you can articulate that, it's very easy to get landlords to agree to this arrangement, okay? So let me just talk about a couple other secrets that I do to get landlords to say yes to me, okay? So once you start talking to landlords, like I said, there are a few things that I do, but just remember that everything is negotiable. Okay, that's kind of the biggest takeaway I want you to have from this, okay? Everything is negotiable. Now, if you know that you can make 3 to 4 times the rent on a property, then you can afford to get a little creative when you're talking to landlords, right? Does that make sense? So here are some things that you can do to negotiate with a landlord if need be. Fortunately, most of the time, I don't even have to worry about offering, let's say, for example, I can offer to pay above the asking price. Let's say the rent is $2,000. You can offer to pay maybe $2,100, $2,200. What's that going to kind of do for you? Like, if it allows you to get that property, you only have to pay a couple of extra $100, but you know you can make $7,000, $8,000 on that property. Well, it's like a drop in the bucket, right? Fortunately, if you know how to really articulate like I mentioned earlier, that you're going to be maintaining the property and that you're going to be, like you're a professional business and that you show up as a professional. Like I like to show up with a business card. I have a website, things like that. Then it's very easy for them to say yes. But these are some additional things you can do. Sometimes I even do minor renovations. So I might paint the living room or maybe redo a carpet, something like that. Once you do that, they realize that it really is in your best interest to take care of the property as well. So they see that your interests are aligned, right? Another thing you can do is partner with the landlord. So do some kind of profit sharing arrangement, right? We've done this before as well. So there are a lot of different ways that you can do this. But I do have to warn you, one thing that you must do every single time is have a written agreement, okay? Because this has bit me before, okay? One time, basically my very first property, I didn't know what I was doing, okay, when I was first getting started. And I had a handshake agreement, okay? I had a property manager who was excited about working with me, and we had a handshake agreement. So what that means, basically, is that it wasn't in writing. And it was fine, everything worked great for 10 months until management changed. And basically, I had to stop Airbnb at that property because I didn't have it written in the lease, okay? So unfortunately, I had to miss 2 months of potentially listing that property, and that cost me, I wasn't able to bring in at least $10,000 worth of bookings, Okay, so I had to close my Airbnb earlier before my lease expired. And the point is, you always have to have this written in the lease. Okay, don't rely on handshake agreements, and never like not tell the landlord. This has to be something that you're very upfront about. You want it in the lease. You want everything to be, like documented. Okay, we're gonna do this the right way, and that's the only way I would recommend going about doing this. All right, so now that we've covered how to talk to landlords, the last thing I want to talk to you about is the money machine. Okay, how to automate and scale to 6 figures without ever meeting, greeting, or cleaning after your guests, even while you're working a full-time job. And that's right, you can automate this business, you can scale it, and like I mentioned, you don't have to meet the guests, you don't have to greet them, you don't have to clean after them. Like I mentioned earlier, right now I'm in Hawaii. I've been here for almost a month now, and my Airbnbs are running. Okay, they're in South Carolina, they're running right now. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to meet people. I don't have to clean after people. I don't have to greet people. Okay, all it runs on its own. So that's what I want to talk to you about right now. So when I first got started, I was working a full-time job. As I mentioned, I was working as an engineer and I was working full-time. Okay, and basically, it didn't really take me that long to get my first listing set up. Okay, it took me about 2 to 3 weeks of research and talking to landlords. I basically do that all in the weekends. Basically after I had met with a landlord, it was just about a week of paperwork and then 1 week to furnish it. And I did that mostly on the weekend. So it really didn't take me that long to get the listing set up. But the problem was that, as you saw earlier, I did the research really well. I knew exactly what was going to be in demand, and I prepared my Airbnb so well that in the beginning, right away, I was successful, right? And I had a lot of bookings coming in, which was amazing. But it was a problem because basically I did a ready, fire, aim approach, okay? Which means I was at work and I would, I would be in a meeting and then I would run out to my Airbnb and I would go and I would clean it and then I would run back to work and try to catch another meeting, and then I would have to run back out to my Airbnb and meet a guest or something, and I would run back out to work, and it was just a huge problem. And before you can imagine, I got burnt out. And it wasn't long until I realized I cannot keep doing this. And whenever I get burnt out, the first thing I do is I sit down and I try to prioritize and try to identify my goals, right? So I realized my goal is that I want this to be a passive income business. I want to work less than 4 hours per week. I want to be able to travel and work 100% from my cell phone if needed. And I never want to have to greet guests. I never want to have to clean the property. I want to have to minimize the communications or outsource them completely. And I never physically have to be at the property. I never want to have to physically be there, right? So these were kind of like my criteria. This was my priority. So I set out to figure out how I was going to make that happen. So the first thing I did was that I got cleaners, okay? You get someone else to clean the property for you. It's so obvious, but you get really great people that you can rely on that can automatically be scheduled in when you get a booking. And basically all I do is I have a very, very detailed checklist. And you can see the amount of detail, put 1 extra toilet paper in the basket, refill the shampoos and place them here, put a hand towel, here. I tell them exactly what to do, to the letter, and I just give them this document. And the cool thing about this document, this checklist, okay, is that I can give this checklist to anybody and the property will be cleaned the same every single time, okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to get cleaners and give them a checklist that's detailed. Once you do that, you basically automate the entire process of turnovers when you get new guests and cleaning. So you don't have to do that anymore, okay? The next thing I did was I got automated messages, all right? So basically what happens is when there's a reservation, right, they get a message from me automatically. I have a software that does that for me. Then 48 hours before they check in, I automatically send them check-in information. A couple hours after their stay, I send them another message. When they check out, I'm sending them another message. All this is happening automatically. I don't have to be thinking about when someone's coming and when someone's leaving and worrying about all these things, all automatic. Even cooler is when I do get a reservation, a email gets sent to my cleaners, and the cleaners basically get automatically scheduled. So I don't even have to tell the cleaners when to come. Everything happens automatically. And they even have a reminder from the cleaners. So all of this is happening without me using software. Okay? This is kind of what it looks like. You can see before check-in, after checkout, future messages, and all that message. All those messages are automated, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Step number 3 is get a handyman. Right. What happens when, let's say the tub gets clogged or maybe a doorknob is loose or little things like that, like the ice maker isn't working. You don't want to have to run to the property and fix those things. So I just quickly realized all I need is somebody that I can call whenever there's minor problems, right? Minor maintenance, things like that. I just have somebody else handle. Super easy. Get a handyman that you can really trust. Now, it gets really interesting, and how you really remove yourself from the process is when you have your cleaners work directly with your handyman. Okay, so they don't even have to include you. Say they go to the property and they see, oh, like I said, the sink is clogged up. They can just call the handyman for you. Boom, the handyman comes, they schedule it, and it's done. You don't even have to be involved in that process. So this is all about thinking about how can I remove myself and build systems so that other people can manage this business for me, right? Now, the last thing is technology, okay? What kind of technology? Well, like I mentioned earlier, we don't want to have to worry about greeting guests or handing them a key or anything like that. All we're going to do is use automated Wi-Fi locks. So there's digital locks. Basically, you can control it from your phone. They have a little like PIN code, and basically every time a guest comes, that code can be synced with Airbnb. So when they leave, that code changes. All that can happen behind the scenes using technology. So you don't have to worry about, like I said, you don't have to worry about keys or checking guests in. All they do is they get a code, and they can just unlock the door and lock in. Now, so that takes care of actually greeting guests. There are a few other pieces of technology like Ecobees or Nest thermostats, so you can control the temperature remotely if you want to do that. But there are a lot of technology that you can use to kind of automate this business for you. Okay, so these are the 4 big steps, and this will help get you basically to, let's say, 80% automated. But I soon realized that as I got more and more Airbnbs, I still had to respond to guest inquiries. I had specific questions, reservation alterations, early check-ins, requests during their stay, little questions that I would get all the time. And I started thinking, look, I got to take this to the next level. Okay, so I soon realized that basically I don't want to be the one that has to handle these, kind of exceptions, all these little questions. So I started looking for ways to completely remove myself from the business. That's when I realized I needed my own personal concierge service. Okay, so I started thinking, how am I going to get someone else to just answer these questions for me? So I found a few services out there that handle guest communications and things like that, but there was only a couple problems. Right, first, they were extremely expensive. Right, they would take a percentage of your revenue, and I didn't want to give away a percentage of my revenue. Okay, and I soon saw that they were really slow to respond. They didn't provide great service. I couldn't rely on them, and that was a huge need for me. I needed to know that if a guest had a question, that was going to get handled right away, and I didn't have to worry about that. The other big requirement is that you needed a lot of listings. Some of these services required that you had 50 listings before they would work with you. Like, who wants to get 50 listings and then have it automated? Like, we all want it automated from day one, right, with our first listing. So that's when I realized I need to make my own team. So I hired a team of virtual assistants, and I trained them on how to run my Airbnb business to the T. Like, every possible question, procedure, they know how to handle discounts, reservation alterations, availability, minimum night stays, everything, basically, you can name it. They know how to do, okay? So the benefit to this was that they were extremely inexpensive, okay? They're the best services, tailored responses, and you can get started with this with just one listing, right? I don't need 50 listings. I can get started using a virtual assistant team right away, okay? So that's the route that I went. I call them my Superhost heroes, and they're my personal concierge team. So is this starting to make sense, guys? Do you see how streamlined this can be? Do you see how little effort this can take once you have all the tools in place? Like, once these tools are set up, it's done. Do you see how having your own personal concierge team will allow you to automate this business from day one? How cool is that? After I did this, guys, basically this is what my workday looked like. I would just text my cleaners, hey, is everything going well? They'd give me a little thumbs up, and I'd be back to the rest of my day, which was normally like doing something like this on vacation, having fun outside, making money while I'm really just living the life that I want to live, okay? And now it's honestly, I don't even have to send a message to my cleaners. Everything happens completely without me. So that's how you automate this business. But automation is actually just one step of it. The next thing to do, because we want time freedom, right? But we also want to make a lot of money, of course. So now we can leverage automation to scale our business. Is that starting to make sense? Okay, so let me explain this to you. So we have one Airbnb, right? We use the process that I just described, and we automate it. Now what we do is we become smart investors, and we take the profits or some portion of those profits, and we get another Airbnb, okay? Now, what do? We automate that Airbnb as well, and boom, we can invest in more Airbnbs. This is how you build an Airbnb empire very quickly, okay? What do you think we do with those properties? Again, we automate them. Is this starting to make sense? This is how you can make a lot of money on Airbnb very, very quickly while having as much time as you want, as much time freedom as you want, and you can basically travel the world. You don't have to be in any physical location. This is how we do it, okay? Now, if you want to make $100,000 using Airbnb, how would you do it? Well, we can get 4 listings, let's say, that make about a profit of $2,000 each month. Okay, that's one way to do it, right? Now, another way to do it is to just get 2, maybe more higher-end listings that make about $4,000 per month in profit, okay? And if you're really lazy and you want to do this with the least amount of work possible, you can basically just kind of go for the higher-end listings and make $8,000 per month in profit with just 1 really nice listing. And that will get you $100,000 a year in profit. Now, what if you had multiple high-end Airbnb listings? Are you starting to see how stupid simple it is to make a lot of money on Airbnb? And with very little work, even while you're working a full-time job. Like when I first got started, I was working a full-time job. You can do this on the side. It's pretty cool, right? So I hope you learned a lot. We went through a lot of these secrets. Secret number 1 was cash flow finder. Secret number 2, how to use other people's properties. And secret number 3, the money machine, how to automate and scale to 6 figures. Pretty cool, right? Now, when I first learned all of this information, I immediately felt like this, okay? And maybe you feel the same way, okay? I felt like I could take over the world. And honestly, once I started implementing all of this, I had no real systems or processes. And I won't lie to you, I made a lot of mistakes trying to figure out everything on my own. So it wasn't long until I felt like this, as I mentioned earlier, running back and forth from Airbnb. And maybe you kind of feel the same way too right now, a little overwhelmed, right? I know we went through a lot of material, and I don't want to just leave you feeling overwhelmed like you're not really sure what to do next. That's why I put together something special for those of you who are on this webinar right now and want to take this to the next level. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Is it okay if I share a special program I made for you? If you guys enjoyed what you learned so far, just put a 1 in the chat box and let me know you want me to share a special offer that I have with you that will help guide you through this entire process step by step. Let me just take a sip of water real quick. All right, awesome. So the program I made for you is called Airbnb Empire. This is what you're going to get in the program. Okay, it's an 8-week masterclass. Basically, you're going to get everything you need to create and run a 6-figure Airbnb business while working as little as 2 hours per week. And if you want to continue to grow your business into the multiple 6 figures, we're going to show you how to do that as well. All right, so week number 1 of the course, you're going to find basically how to make find the most profitable properties in your area and how to make massive returns on even just your first listing. In week number 2, we're going to select your property. We're going to build credibility with landlords. In week number 3, we're going to close your first deal. Week number 4, we're going to automate your check-in and check-out processes so you don't have to physically meet guests. Week number 5, we're going to list your property on Airbnb so you can start getting bookings and collecting cash as soon as possible, okay? In week 6, we're going to refine your systems and oil your Airbnb money machine so you can prepare to automate the entire process. In week number 7, we're going to automate your Airbnb so you can sit back and just collect the checks and utilize your team to take care of everything for you. And in week number 8, we're going to find your next property so you can continue to scale your business and continue to collect more and more profit each and every single month. That's pretty cool, right? You guys want to learn how to do that. So also in this course, I include a private mastermind. Okay, it's called my 10K Club. And my goal for this group of people that are included in the private mastermind is for you to make $10,000 per month in profit on Airbnb in the fastest way possible. Okay, so this is a coaching program. It's included with the course. All right. So in the private group coaching, basically it's exclusive mastermind where I vet students' properties before they invest. I look at students' listings and tell them exactly what to change to maximize the revenue. They get to ask me questions during weekly office hours. Really priceless. But again, this is a private group coaching session or mastermind, and I can't have too many people in this group because it takes up a lot of my time. So really, it's only for the first 10 people who get the course today will have access to the private 10K Club. Okay, so you might be asking, who is this for? Who does it work for? So if you have no property and no clue how to get started, don't worry, this program is for you. If you have a property and want to make 3 to 4 times as much as you would with a regular tenant, then this is for you. If you already have an Airbnb and you want to get more listings or maximize your revenue with your current listing, then this is for you, okay? So, but you might be thinking like, all right, this sounds awesome, but I'm not sure if I have enough capital to get started or scale that quickly, right? So let me just reiterate. Here's the crazy part, right? When I first launched my listing, my first Airbnb, in the first 2 days, I booked out almost an entire month and made in bookings $6,258. In 2 days, I booked out that much. In the first 13 days that I launched my listing, using the strategies that I teach in the course, okay, I booked out $18,872. Now, you might be thinking, all right, that sounds cool, but what does that really do for me? Well, here's the thing. The coolest part about this is that there are services that allow you to access that money before the guest even stays with you. Think about that. Like, do you think it'd be pretty easy to get investment or borrow money from friends and family when you can pay them back literally in a matter of days? So let me reiterate that. It's possible to get paid up front for future guest stays. This is how you leverage and turn future guests into your investors so you can scale very quickly. Is this starting to make sense? So I had access to that $18,872 in 13 days. Even though the guest didn't stay there yet, I could still use that money. So here is this is a picture from the 10K Club. This is me going and deep diving into AirDNA with one of the students. And this is pretty cool. So one of my students, he got started recently, and then 6 weeks later, this is his calendar. So he sent me this message and basically showing me his calendar is completely booked up. And he sent me this message that I said, hey man, how's everything going? You know, just want to make sure you're doing well. And he says, everything's going great. We made $14.5 thousand in bookings up until April 6th. So this was a couple months ago. And he said, we only have 4 unfilled days. And he said 10 5-star reviews already. So it couldn't be going any better. So basically he learned how to book out his entire calendar very, very quickly. He made a lot of money very, very quickly, and he got multiple 5-star reviews very, very quickly. So very, very cool. So like I said, what you're going to get in this course is an 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass of total value of $2,997. And that comes with a 10K Club private group coaching for the first 10 people. All right, but I didn't just want to leave you with that. I didn't want to just give you information alone. I wanted to give you the tools to guarantee your success. All right, so that's why I made the B&B Toolbox. All right, so what this is, basically what's included in the B&B Toolbox is you get my profitability calculator, you get my proven automated message scripts, you get my secret checkout note that allows me to get consistent 5-star reviews on demand, you get my cleaners cheat sheet, and you get my all-in-one supply list. Okay, these tools are invaluable. Now, what you'll be able to do with these tools is determine if a property is going to be profitable before investing a dime. Okay, you'll be able to automate your guest communications from day one. You'll be able to get 5-star reviews and charge a premium for your property. You'll also be able to have your property cleaned perfectly every single time, and you'll save hundreds of dollars by knowing what to buy in bulk from where. Okay, makes sense? Now, you'll also be able to get rid of all the guesswork when choosing a property. You'll know which ones are going to be home runs and which ones are going to be duds. These tools alone will be worth the entire value of the course, but you'll be able to get rid of hours and hours of trial and error, and you'll be able to avoid dozens of bad reviews, and bad reviews can really hurt your bottom line. I'm going to show you how to avoid all of that. So I'm also going to show you how to save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on supplies and so much more. That's why the B&B Toolbox is so important. I need to include it in this program. So you're going to get an 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass and the B&B Toolbox for a total value of $4,994. So I was thinking, what else do you need? All right, I want to make sure you had everything possible. So I created an additional training called B&B Behind the Scenes Business Blueprint. Okay, and basically what this is, it's a training of my exact process for getting a new listing up and running in just a couple of weeks. Okay, you're going to watch me and other students identify the most profitable Airbnb style and location in any city. You're going to see how we find profitable properties. You're going to see how we furnish and style it in a way that attracts guests in. You're going to see how we create magnet listings and how we launch and automate our Airbnbs, okay? So you might be thinking, but wait, I don't know how to make my place look that awesome. Don't worry, because that's not the problem, all right? I'm going to show you in this training also how to find only furnished places if you wanted to. If you just wanted to skip the whole furnishing process and find a furnished Airbnb, then I'll teach you how to do that, okay? You'll also see my 3 secret designed tweaks that cost almost nothing, but will transform your property from amateur to professional, and it will allow you to charge at least 25% more. I'm also going to show you my photo taking super hacks so your listing photos look beautiful and attract booking after booking. Sound pretty cool, right? So that's included with the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass, the B&B Toolbox, and the B&B Behind the Scenes training. So total value of $7,991. Now, I wanted to also help you guys out with the landlord situation. See, before all this, I was doing the hard way. You know, I would find the property, I'd try to schedule a showing, I would explain the idea to the landlord, hey, can I put your property on Airbnb? And I would hope they would say yes. And I would repeat that process over and over. And eventually I would get a yes, but it was on properties that I just didn't love or that I knew wouldn't make the most revenue. So what I did is I made this training that basically teaches you how to skip all of that trial and error and just go straight for being successful in the very beginning with landlords, okay? You're gonna learn how to get landlords to be begging to work with you, not the other way around, okay? So you're gonna learn exactly what to say to landlords so that they instantly just get it. And so that they immediately start trying to convince you to work with them. It's pretty cool, right? You'll learn my secret 2-sentence phrase that I say at the end of every interaction that will make them jump on your offer as soon as possible. And you'll learn how to talk to the landlord in a way that's basically like easy. And it makes it feel more like 2 friends just chatting rather than a high pressure business deal, okay? So you're gonna get my exact script of what to say to get landlords to be begging to work with you. Like I mentioned, you're gonna get video trainings to basically break it down, make it super simple. I'm also gonna give you my business page, like a landlord letter. It's a page, it talks about all the benefits of working with you. I'm just gonna give you that and you can just hand that to the landlord. It will significantly help with getting them to say yes. I'm also gonna show you the business cards that I use and make it so that instantly you'll be presenting yourself as a professional and get a lot of credibility right away. I'm just gonna give you all the tools that you need. You'll be fully prepared. All right, but you might also be thinking, all right, that sounds awesome, but what about the lease? What do I need to do with the lease, right? You talked about earlier. Remember how I said you need to have a written agreement, how this is so important? Well, I'm gonna show you exactly how I modify my lease agreements to make sure everything is in writing, okay? So here's the deal, as a disclaimer, I can't actually provide you with an official legal document because honestly it changes in every state anyway. So, but what I can do is I can show you exactly how I personally modify my lease agreements to allow for Airbnb guests. Again, I'm not like a lawyer, I can't give you an official document, but I can show you examples of what I do, and that's really all the tools that you need. Okay, I'll show you how I basically document in writing the terms for my arrangement with landlords. So you're gonna have everything you need, okay? I'm not holding anything back. All right, look, you can start Airbnb other people's properties without this piece, but it would be a huge risk. I'm giving you all the tools you need to do this legally, risk-free, and in the most profitable way possible. All right, so you're gonna get the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass, the B&B Toolbox, behind the scenes training, and a landlord on board for a total value of $9,488. So there was one more thing that I wanted to give you guys, and this drives me crazy because it's honestly one of the most important parts of running an Airbnb business that almost everybody overlooks, okay? That's why I made this training card called the ROI machine. And really, this is gonna allow you to charge a premium for your properties, okay? This is how you guarantee you're gonna get the absolute highest revenue possible. That's why I call it the ROI machine, okay? So when I first got started, I had no idea how to price my property. Like, to be honest, I was just guessing. I charged about $200 a night. I got dozens of bookings and I was so excited. But I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm making a lot of money. But I didn't realize one important thing. I soon found out that I was significantly underpricing my property. See, I was charging about $200 per night, but I could have been charging $400 per night. I literally went from $200 to $400 per night on the weekends, and I instantly doubled my revenue for the weekend rates. Some nights I even booked for $600. It blew my mind. Like, before, the max I would charge was $250. Then I realized I could charge $600. Like, I did the math and I realized that I had thrown out $5,300 just down the drain. Like, I back calculated exactly how much I had lost by not knowing how much to charge. So I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to know how to price your property from the beginning to make the most amount of money possible. So in the ROI machine training, I'm going to give you my pricing hacks that literally doubled my revenue, okay? I'm going to show you my secret last to book versus first to book formula, and I'm going to show you my method to track supply and demand so you can know exactly on which dates to skyrocket your pricing. Okay, this is a very sneaky strategy, but it's super, super important and will significantly increase your bottom line. All right, so you might also be thinking, if I charge too much for my place, like how are people even going to book it? How am I going to get people to stay there? And how do I book out my calendar while still charging a high price? So the second piece to the ROI machine is a search rank hacking, okay? Now you're probably thinking like, what the heck is search rank hacking? And I apologize for this because I totally geek out on this topic, and I've probably read every single article on the internet about this, but I've spent months and months testing, and I really just love this nerdy stuff, so forgive me. But the secret to charging a premium and booking out your entire calendar is by ranking highly in the search rank on Airbnb, okay, with the Airbnb search algorithm. Now you might be thinking like, what the heck is Airbnb's search algorithm? Mike, what the heck are you even talking about right now? Don't worry, it's actually really simple. Let me explain it. So it's kind of like when you go to the mall, right? And you see inside a store, and you start window shopping. You know what I mean? Those products that are on display in the window, they get the most eyeballs, they get the most views, and in turn, they get purchased the most frequently, right? Does that make sense? Now, on Airbnb, it works the same exact way. This is what Airbnb window shopping looks like. You see there are listings that get put on display, and guess what? These get the most views, and in turn, get the highest number of bookings. Does this make sense? Okay, cool. So in the ROI machine training, the second part of it, I'm going to teach you the secrets to filling your calendar to 90 to 100% occupancy each and every single month. I'm going to give you my set it and forget it strategy to rank at the top of search results on Airbnb from day one. So you can be in the window, quote unquote, of Airbnb, okay? You're getting my top 3 overlooked calendar settings that will instantly boost your search rank and bookings. Plus, one thing that you should never do, I'm going to teach you how to avoid all the mistakes and get your listing to the top of search, okay? Right from the beginning. That's the coolest part about this training is I teach you how to do it. It's not like you have to wait months and months until you get to the top of search. I'll teach you how to be at the top of search from day one, okay? Now, if you do this, if you don't do this, you'll still make a lot of money on Airbnb. My goal isn't for you just to make a lot of money on Airbnb. My goal, like I mentioned in the beginning, is for you to dominate the platform and be in the top 1% of listings, okay? I want you to be the very best on Airbnb, and this is how you do it. This is like the sneaky strategy, guys. This is like Airbnb veterans don't even know this stuff. I've studied so much on this topic, and I'm just gonna give you all of my knowledge so you can just instantly like shortcut to the top, all right? Now, so you're gonna get the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass, the Airbnb Toolbox, the Airbnb Behind the Scenes Training, the Landlord on Board, the ROI Machine. All of that's total value of $11,985, okay? Now, if all this training, was get you 1 or 2 listings that passively brought in profit of $5,000 per month, would that be worth it to you? Think about it. It literally is worth that amount, that $11,985. Now, if all this did was allow you to quit your job so you could work 2 hours a week instead of 40, would that be worth it? Think about it. If you only had to work 2 hours a week, would that be worth it? If all this did was give you the ability to really travel the world and go on vacation whenever you wanted while passively running a 6-figure Airbnb business like I'm doing right now, would that be worth it? It would, right? So for this training, I really had 2 options, guys. I could go as cheap as possible, make this training super cheap and not really give you all that you needed to make it like a basic training. My second option was basically for me to give you all the resources, all the guidance, all of basically a lot of my time. Obviously, this requires a little bit higher investment on your part, but this is what I decided to do because I want to see people's lives change, right? So what's one Airbnb listing worth to you? One successful listing. It could be $2,000, $2,000 in recurring monthly income. Maybe it's $3,000 to $5,000 in recurring monthly income if you go more higher end, right? How much would you pay to get one Airbnb listing up and running, completely automated, hands off, just works, makes you money when you're sleeping? How much would you be willing to pay for that? You can see why people are willing to pay me up to $5,000 for one-on-one coaching to get their first listing up and running. You can see why it's a good deal at $5,000. Here's the thing, guys. The cost of the Airbnb Empire course is only $1,997. That's a normal price. But today, I'm going to do something crazy for you. If you're on this webinar, then I'm going to drop the price by 50% right now. You can get started right now for only $997. You should be able to click a button on the screen and go to this link, or you can just go to mikexave.com/enroll and get started today for just $997. You get everything that's included. The first 10 people will get into the 10K club as well. Now, you have two choices. Your first option is to do nothing and really not take this leap of faith and miss out on this huge opportunity. Or your second option is to pony up this very small investment compared to all the value that you're getting in return and just give it a shot. Join me on this journey to your financial freedom. Now, here's my promise. Here's where it gets really good, guys. If I can't make you money, then I don't deserve yours, okay? So that's why I've included a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you aren't happy with the training for any reason, then just let me or my team know, and within the next 30 days, you'll receive a full refund, all right? All you have to do is just complete the first 2 modules, which can be done completely from your computer. And the reason we want you guys to do the first 2 modules is because we want you to show us that you're at least going to put some effort in. Does that sound fair? Like, to be honest, if you're not even willing to do the first 2 modules, then this course probably isn't for you. We really just want committed people. So I hope that's okay. We're not looking for dabblers here. Sorry about that. But if you buy this course and you follow along step by step, then you will succeed. All right. All you got to do, if you're interested, just get the course. Go to mikexave.com/enroll. Now, it gets even better. This is something that I wanted to do for you guys because I really do just want to see you guys succeed and transform your life. Okay, I get the biggest kick out of when I see my students come on and tell me they got their listing set up and now they're getting all this passive income and their lives completely changed. That's what gives me the most juice, and that's what I want to see for you. So I'm going to do something crazy for you guys. I'm going to prove to you how much I care about your success. So here's my offer to you. If you publish your listing, your first Airbnb listing in the next 60 days, then I'm just going to give you 100% of your money back for the training. So this is my way of rewarding the action takers because I want to see lives transformed, okay? So just to be clear, if you get your first listing up in 60 days, then you'll get 100% of your money back from the program, okay? The only caveat is that it has to be a new Airbnb property that isn't your current residence. Very simple. And you just have to do a video call with me so I can personally see your success, all right? So how does that sound? It's pretty awesome, right? So how incredible is this deal? Who wants to get access to the program right now? All you got to do is go to mikexave.com/enroll. So the real question is, are you going to take this leap of faith with me and change your life forever? Okay, again, guys, you're going to get the 8-week Airbnb Empire Masterclass, the B&B Toolbox, the behind-the-scenes training, landlord on board, the ROI machine training, which has a total value of $11,985. And honestly, it really is worth that. You're just going to get that today for $997. All right. So there's 2 more special bonuses, and then that's it. Then we're gonna wrap up. Okay. Now, if this deal isn't already incredible enough, I'm gonna add these 2 special bonuses. Okay. Here's the catch, though, guys. These 2 last bonuses are for people who purchase before the training ends. Okay. Simple as that. So the first bonus is access to my Superhost Heroes, your personal concierge team. Remember how I talked about how I put together Superhost Heroes, my concierge VA team? Well, here's the thing. If you're still here, you clearly want to have your Airbnb automated from the beginning, right? Like, you don't want to have to deal with guest communications and inquiries. You just want to focus on getting more property and making more and more money, right? Look, when I first started, I would get notifications from guests, asking things like, where are the wine glasses? How do I turn the TV on? I soon realized, I don't need to be the one answering these questions. That's why I created this team, okay? Now, the only notifications I get are when I get paid from Airbnb, which is pretty cool. And that's what I want for you too, okay? So my Superhost Heroes, they're made up of former Airbnb case managers, okay? They're Airbnb experts. It took me months to put this team together and to find the right people. It took me dozens of hours to train them. Fortunately, I did all that so you don't have to, okay? You can skip all of that and have access to my team. You can hire them directly to work for you, and they're very, very cheap, and there's no training needed, no trial and error, no wasted time, no wasted money searching for the right people. Everything you need right from the start, okay? So that's my first fast action bonus. If you guys if you purchase the program before this training ends, then you'll get access to my Super Host Hero. I think we have a timer right now. I can't see the timer, but I believe you got about 10 more minutes left. To be safe, get it before that timer expires, and you'll get these 2 bonuses, okay? Now, my fast action bonus number 2, again, you got to get it before that timer expires, is the 100K listing breakdown. Okay, now, I'm going to show you basically a breakdown of a listing that is on track to make me well over $100,000 this year alone. I'm going to show you the exact photos that I used. I'm going to show you the exact title and description. I'm going to show you the exact phrases that I used to attract high-paying guests. Okay, that's super key. We want to attract high-paying clients. I'm going to show you basically the account settings for my search rank, how I get the highest in search, and I'm going to show you all the amenities you need and don't need to have a 100K listing. All right. So if you want to learn how to make over $100,000 with just one Airbnb, then you need the 100K listing breakdown. All right. But you can only have access to that if you join the program now before the training ends. So here's a quick snapshot. You can see this listing's already at almost $80,000, and we're only halfway through the year. Pretty freaking impressive. So I'm going to show you all that. Now, guys, we're about to wrap up. I'm going to do Q&A, but I just want to kind of close with this 2-second story about when I first got started, my very first booking. Okay, I remember it like it was yesterday. I had spent weeks doing research, going through the process, the exact process that I teach in this course. You know, I got everything ready. My listing was perfect. The pictures looked great. The property was ready to go. I remember it was a Friday night. It was 10 p.m. and I was staring at my computer screen in a dark room, and it was like the glare was on my face, and I was just like typing away, and my finger was hovering over the publish listing button, right? And I swore I sat there for like 5 minutes. This was a big moment in my life, okay? Because eventually I clicked publish listing, and all of a sudden, nothing happened. Nothing changed in that moment, right? I let out a sigh of relief because I knew that whatever was going to happen at that point forward, and I had set it in motion. You know, and all I had to do now was just wait. So I remember I closed my computer and I went to go take a shower, and I got out of the shower and I heard this weird noise. And it was a noise that I would learn to love in the future, and you will too. I looked at my phone and there was a notification. I didn't know what it was. I looked at it closely and my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was 10:13 p.m. Okay, I launched my listing 13 minutes ago, and the notification on my phone read, Airbnb booking $1,223. And I just want you to think about that for a second. If you want to get started basically with this program, you get everything that we talked about. You get access to the 10K club if you're within the first 10 people to join. I can't wait to see you inside, all right? But just literally when that happened, when I saw that first booking, I knew my life changed forever, okay? And I made this course because I want you to experience something similar. I want you to hear that first Airbnb notification as you make hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now, I can't say my results are typical, and I can't say that this exact thing will happen to you, but I'm willing to bet if you follow everything I teach in this course, well, it might just pay for itself in the first 13 minutes that you click publish listing. So just think about that, all right, guys? Now, if you want to get started, all you have to do is go to mikexave.com/enroll, okay? And click add to cart. And there's also a payment plan option. So if you want to break it up into multiple payments, you can do that. But click add to cart, you'll be taken to a page where you can enter your information, and then you'll have instant access to the course. And I'll see you in the course. And if you do now, you'll be in the 10K club as well. All right, guys. So I'll go ahead and take some questions now. Let me just run through them. Guys, if you have any questions about the course or how to get started on Airbnb, just let me know, and I'll go ahead and answer your questions. Basically, this is what it looks like when you receive a notification, okay, from Airbnb. This is what your calendar looks like. It's pretty cool. You can see kind of like there's one booking right here, $2,478. Here's another booking, $800. Another booking. This is actually all during the same day, which is pretty cool. But this is what the calendar looks like. Okay. Now in total, that was $4,764 in bookings, all in one day, which is a pretty cool freaking feeling. So, guys, you need to get started with this as soon as you can, because honestly, we're moving into the on season, right? People are traveling right now. You do not want to wait. You need to get started as soon as possible. Okay. So you might be thinking, like, how do I get started with little capital, right? What if I can't afford to get a property and pay the rent? Well, there are a ton of ways to kind of get creative and make this business model work, as I mentioned earlier. But it's one of the ways that you can do it. And I always tell people this: you can get started very easy way by getting a furnished property. Just start with a furnished property and start small. Okay, find a simple 1-bedroom where the rent isn't very expensive, and you can see massive returns even with that simple 1-bedroom to start off with. Okay. Another thing you can do is get creative, get a partner, get someone that you can work with. Like, let's say you find a landlord that's willing to share the profits with you, so you don't have to pay the rent. I have some Airbnbs where I don't pay rent on them, but I just split the profits or I have a profit sharing arrangement with the owner. So you can totally do that as well. So there are a lot of ways to basically get started. Okay. You can also find an investor that's willing to basically upfront you the money so that you can make this business work. Okay, just get creative. Okay, some other people ask, what if I don't live in a destination city? Okay, so, and this kind of goes into the question, I think Alejandro had the question, sorry, can I do this remotely? Okay, so actually, Alejandro, I completely run my Airbnbs remotely. So I live in Florida. My Airbnbs are in South Carolina. Right now, I'm on vacation in Hawaii, and I'm never at my Airbnbs. They're completely remote, okay? So absolutely, you can do all of this remotely. The point of this training that I really teach is how to automate it, how to scale it so that it can remove you from the process. You never have to be the property. You never have to greet the guests. You never have to clean or anything like that, right? All of it is passive income. Once you have the tools in place, it's done for you, okay? That's the coolest part about this business. And then we can focus on scaling, getting more and more Airbnbs and making more and more money, right? We don't have to focus in the business. We can focus on the business, all right? So absolutely, you can do this remotely. So if you don't live in a destination city, not a problem. You can do remotely, but I would advise you to do the AirDNA analysis, because you'll find out that the city that you're in probably does really well on Airbnb. It's such a huge opportunity right now. It really doesn't matter where you are. There are tons of ways to make money with this business. So I encourage you first to check, the city that you're in. I'm sure you can make a lot of money in that city. If not, just look a little bit outside that area and manage it remotely. Okay, that's what this training is all about. Okay, some other people ask, what if a guest do damage to the property? What if guests do damage to the property? Well, here's the thing. Listen to this because it's crazy. In 2015, the percent of bookings that resulted in more than $1,000 worth of damage was 0.002%. That's literally 1 in every 50,000 stays. You won't reach 50,000 stays unless you had maybe 10 Airbnb properties for 50 years. On top of this, Airbnb has a $1 million hosting guarantee policy. Okay, so basically, they provide you with $100 or $1 million worth of if there's damages. Okay, that's their guarantee policy. On top of that, you can get short-term rentals insurance that will basically be an additional layer of coverage. So now you're fully covered. But last but not least, as I teach in this course, we focus on charging a premium, and because of that, we attract premium guests. So the people that are staying on property are very respectful. And then obviously we have all these layers of coverage, so that really isn't a problem, okay? Okay, so I got a question. I already have a business license. I was just concerned that I needed to purchase a home instead of leasing. So absolutely, as I mentioned, you can totally do this by just leasing the properties. And I teach obviously how to do all that in the course with the landlord on board. I go into detail about the best way to work with landlords. I give you all the tools you'll need in terms of the business letter, the business cards, basically all information, and the lease agreement. I show you examples of how I set that up as well, which is very, very, very important, obviously. So absolutely, you can totally do this by leasing, and that's the method that I use. It's very, very profitable, very, very good cash flow business. Okay, so. Again, guys, if you have any other questions, just go ahead and throw them in the chat. I just want to talk to you about investing, okay? So I know some of you might be feeling right now like maybe you've tried so many things and you just feel like you're tired of working all the time and you don't see any real change. And maybe you feel like you've tried to find financial abundance in the past, but it just didn't work, and now you're kind of skeptical about it. You're like, is this really going to work for me? Or maybe you just feel like, man, I really want this program, but it's just a lot of money, and I can't afford that right now. Well, if you're feeling any of these things, trust me, because I felt the same exact thing before. I felt like I've been working way too much before. I felt like I was building somebody else's business, somebody else's company, working for some other boss, and never saw any change in my life. You know, I felt like I've tried dozens of different businesses and failed time and time again. And at some points, I really had no idea what I was going to do. I felt lost and I felt skeptical. And I've asked myself, will this really work for me? I've been in your shoes. I've asked those same exact questions before, and I've definitely felt anxiety about making an investment with it. But let me tell you this, the moment I made my first investment in myself, that's the moment my life literally changed forever. Okay, and Warren Buffett, you know, he says the best investment is the one you can make in yourself. But my life didn't change until I came to this realization. Okay, I realized that if I invest $1,000 now, and in a month, 2 or 3 months, it's going to come back 3, 4, 5, 10 times, right? And over the course of an entire year, who knows, it can literally change your life. The moment I took a stand and I said, I'm going to go after this 100%, I'm going to change my life, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And the moment I did that, my life changed for good. And when I eventually found out about Airbnb and I dove into it with everything that I had, that's when things finally broke through for me. I no longer had to deal with the frustration of trying to get some business to work, or struggling to work on and studying and researching on days and nights and weekends and constantly just trying to figure something out and failing over and over again. Airbnb, once I found it, it finally gave me my freedom back, okay? It took me to the next level, and I know it can do the same for you, right? As long as, like I said, as long as you follow my proven step-by-step process, you got to do the exact step-by-step that I teach you in the course to guarantee your success, right? So if you want to get started today, you just got to click the button and go basically to mikexave.com/enroll. You'll see the option to add to cart, and you'll also see the payment plan, so you can break it up into multiple payments over a couple months. So yeah, if you want to get started again, the first 10 who join will get access to the 10K club. All right, guys, cool. Again, if you have any other questions, go ahead. Cool. Yeah, someone says, I'm incorporating my Airbnb with my travel company. Yeah, that's awesome. The other cool thing about Airbnb is it allows you to deduct a lot of different expenses, right? Like even right now, I'm able to deduct a lot of expenses during my travels because I'm researching different Airbnbs. I'm learning a lot about Airbnb, so I can deduct a lot of travel expenses. So just remember, guys, that you can always make more money. Okay, money replenishes. Okay, when you're working at a job, what happens every 2 weeks? Poof, more money into your account. But what happens to time? Time only diminishes. You can never get back more time. So understand this program is a shortcut. Okay, one of the most powerful mindsets that successful people use is realizing that they can leverage other people's experience, other people's time, other people's expertise to get them where they want to go. So just think about that for a second. It's all about taking a shortcut to success. Okay, and I can give you that with this program. What's another big factor that successful people have? Put in the chat box if you know, like, what are kind of some of the most common habits of successful people. I'm just looking at the chat, guys. Go ahead and put in the chat what do you think the most important attribute is of somebody who is successful. I'll give you a hint. It's not knowledge, okay? Knowledge is a piece, but there's more than just knowledge, right? So I'm looking at Zach. He says you got into the program. I'll have to check, Zach, if you made it in 10K Club. I think you did, actually. Drive, Alejandro says drive. That's good. Pretty much close. Okay, one of the biggest things, guys, is execution, right? Execution, the ability to make decisions quickly and implement them quickly, right? Tony Robbins says, studies have shown that the most successful people make decisions rapidly because they're clear on their values and on what they really want in their lives. The same studies show that they are slow to change their decisions, if at all. On the other hand, people who fail make decisions slowly and change their minds quickly, always bouncing back and forth. He says, just decide. That's why if you want to be a successful person, you need to be able to make decisions and take action on it. So the time is now. It's time to break old habits of procrastination, okay? So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Tim Ferriss, but he says, if you define risk as a likelihood of an irreversible negative outcome, inaction is the greatest risk of all, okay? So successful people are able to take risks. Like, they can make decisions, take actions that are irreversible and have potentially negative outcomes. But today, right now, you don't even have to do that. Today, you don't even have to take any risk because this decision is completely 100% reversible. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. There's really a no-brainer to get started right now. Okay, the decision is reversible. The only really outcome here is a positive outcome because you're going to be learning so much from this course. So the training wheels are on today, guys. If you can't take action on the decision that has zero downside and is completely reversible and has only upside, and I hate to break it to you, but you'll never be successful with that attitude. So take this step. Go to xave.com/enroll and join the program right now, and you'll get access to all the content immediately. Because here's the thing. If you're still here, it means that you're either already a highly successful person looking to take your life to the next level, or you're the type of person who's on the path to success and you're on the verge of breakthrough. So realize that your moment is right now. Just do it like Nike, right? This is your first step. Another thing that successful people do is that they take action quickly, like we mentioned earlier. Successful people set a deadline not only for their actions, but also for their decisions. That's why if you want to get into the program, you have to do it today, okay? I want to work with people who are serious about getting to the next level. So your deadline has been set, all right? I may or may not extend that based on how many people get to see this training live. But definitely, if you want to get the fast action bonuses, you have to get it before this training ends. All right. So let me know if you guys have any other questions. And we're going to wrap up here in a couple minutes. Some of you might be thinking, but maybe I can do this on my own. And believe me, I've heard that over and over again. Whenever somebody tells me they're going to do this on their own, I let out like a sigh. I'm like, man, why would you not just take a shortcut? I've already failed so many times. I've already, made all the mistakes. Why would you want to make the same mistakes, right? I've talked to dozens of people who say they'll start their own Airbnb business without a blueprint. And guess what? They never do it. You see, when someone invests in something with money, then they tend to take it much more seriously. If you told me you're going to get into shape, right? Maybe you would start working out, maybe you wouldn't. But if you told me that you're going to get into shape and you paid a personal trainer, we both know you're going to show up for those training sessions and that you will get into shape. So the question is, what do you really want? Are you going to try to find a way to procrastinate, or are you going to embody the habits of success right now, realize it's time to step into a new identity and take this reversible action? Okay. If you do this on your own, either you won't follow through or you're going to take 10 times longer than it has to. Okay? Not to mention it'll probably cost you 10 times as much. If you try to do this on your own, you're going to make the same mistakes that I made, like I mentioned earlier. You're going to spend months trying to learn how to talk to landlords. And when I finally did get a property, when you finally do get a property, you're not going to know how to price it, which was a huge thing. I lost so much money because I didn't know how to price my property, right? And I easily threw away $5,000 or more because I made those mistakes, right? So I've already made these mistakes. You don't have to. I spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours figuring out what works and what doesn't so that you don't have to, okay? So what is this measly little investment worth to you? What if right from the start, you're able to make massive profit and maximize your revenue, earnings, and potentially earn 2 times as much, right, than what you would have made if you just winged it on your own? This could easily be worth thousands of dollars just for the ROI machine training alone, right? Not to mention all the modules about automating and scaling. Like, that's the whole point of this business. Like, you don't want to be having to deal with all your guest problems, and you don't want to have to be in the business. I'm going to show you how to automate everything so you can live the life you want. You can focus on scaling it, making more and more money while having the time freedom that you really want, okay? If you only want to work as little as 2 hours a week on this business because you learned all the systems that I taught you, well, then you're going to be able to do that with this course, okay? How much would that really be worth to you? If by taking this course, you can get your passive income Airbnb money machine up and running, automated, and making you cash in 3 to 4 weeks, or let's say 6 to 8 weeks to be conservative, how much would that be worth to you? Because here's the thing, it's an 8-week course, but people have done it much shorter than that, all right? If you really wanted to, you could get it done in half the amount of time, okay? The last listing that I got took me 25 days to get started, okay? So you can do this fast if you follow the steps. So how much would that be worth to you? Okay, guys, if you have any other questions, just go ahead and put it in the chat box. We're going to close up here. Just got a few more slides for you guys. And again, if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them while you have me. So I kind of want to talk to you real quick about what success looks like to me, okay? Imagine that you were to walk on a path, okay, and every mile on that path you walked, you made $1,000. You'd probably be like, awesome, I'll take that any day, right? But what if I said, this is what the path looks like? You see, the first mile is straight up. It's the hardest mile. The second mile is a little easier. The third, not so bad, right? The fourth, a lot easier. Eventually, it's pretty flat ground and it's an easy walk. But even better, eventually, it's a walk downhill. And it's almost like success is inevitable. You see, 99% of people stop 3/4 up the way of the first mile. They get tired of climbing and they haven't seen any results, so they give up. It's the 1% of people that can stick through that first mile that get success. But here's the thing. When you take this course and follow this proven blueprint and you work with me, it's kind of like the mountain turns into a little hill. Right now, getting over that first mile isn't so tough. In fact, it's pretty easy. Then from there, you have your own momentum, you start snowballing, and success happens on its own. See, my role and what this course does for you is turn a mountain into a little hill so you can get through that first mile very quickly and you can start seeing results as soon as possible. So what would that be worth to you? If you think it'd be worth it, then go to mikexave.com/enroll right now and purchase the course. You'll have instant access. You'll be able to set up the first strategy call with me, and we'll get you started as soon as possible, okay? So again, get started even if you have a full-time job right now. We talked about how you can make this automated and how you don't need any property to make this work. We covered in detail how to be successful with these strategies, and we covered the core principles of modeling success, okay? So at this point, guys, you have enough information. You get it. You see the opportunity. It's time to seize the opportunity and take action. There's planning, there's learning, there's knowledge, and there's execution, action taking, and doing. So right now, you have the knowledge. You know what the next step is. It's time to take action. Make your move. Let's start working together. Take a look back at that number you wrote down earlier on in this presentation. What was that number? You know, some people wrote 5,000, and some people wrote 16,000. Somebody wrote 10,000. How much do you want to earn on Airbnb each month? If you're making that much on Airbnb, how long would it take to pay for this course, right? It might take a week to pay for this course, right? Maybe it takes just one booking, who knows? But if you take this seriously, I know that you'll be successful as long as you follow the process step by step. So if you were making that money every single month from Airbnb, what would you do? Would you travel? Would you quit your job? Or maybe you would just use that money to pay off your mortgage or cover the bills, whatever it may be. Just think about how this could change your life. So guys, the clock is ticking. So if you want to get in the program, act now, all right? I'll do a couple more questions and we will wrap this up. As I mentioned, guys, I'm currently in an Airbnb. We just checked in a couple hours ago. And we've been bouncing around from different Airbnbs to Airbnbs. Some of the coolest things that we've seen, it's been cool to kind of interact with the hosts. Most of the Airbnbs that we're staying in, the host is also here. So it's been cool to meet the locals and stuff. And I've learned a lot about Airbnb, and I constantly am updating the course and constantly updating the 10K Club and sharing my experiences, teaching people how to always go to the next level and really, really get the most revenue out of their business. So let's see, I'm just running through some of these questions here. All right, guys, so just to kind of reiterate, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, and if you get your listing up the next 60 days, then you get you get all your money back. All you got to do is shoot a video with me. We'll do a Facebook, or we'll do a FaceTime or whatever, and I just want to see you guys, see your successes. I'm really excited about this. So I think we still got a few spots left in the 10K Club, so if you get in now, you can have access to that. And I'll give you guys one more minute, and then the bonus fast action bonuses expire. So thanks for joining today. I'm just looking through the chat. So I covered some questions about insurance. Yeah, we do short-term rentals insurance. That's one of the big things that I talk about when I talk to a landlord. I tell them that I will be insuring the property as well, and that's one of the other tips you can do to really get them on your side. Someone asked, how many homes did you start with to quit your job? And I was able to quit my job with just one Airbnb listing. So that's the coolest thing about it. When you do this the right way, you can figure out how to make the most profit possible. You can quit your job, or you can really replace your income with just one, do the right way. Or maybe, especially with two, you can definitely replace your income. So just focus on maximizing the profit that you can make with a certain Airbnb. Well, that's something I talk about in the course. I go into detail about how to really do the Airbnb analysis in a way that you can guarantee you're going to be successful from the very beginning, okay? Someone else, is it legal? Most landlords don't allow this. So again, obviously we talked about getting it in the written agreement. It's the most important thing. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to wrap up. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and message me on my Facebook Messenger. Okay, it's facebook.com/Mike Xave. You can message me there, and I'll have me or one of my team will get back to you as soon as we can. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. Had a blast. I'll talk to you soon.